Alright, well, I bought a Duramax lolbz, 260,000 miles, and look at how nice this thing is. I mean, it's from New Jersey, and I have no idea how you do 260,000 miles in New Jersey and then your cab corners aren't even falling off. And it was pretty cheap too. The guy had it listed for $5,500, and I called him and I was like, hey, that's really cheap. This thing is super nice. And then I asked him, is the head gasket good? And he said, yeah. And so I drove 6 hours to get this thing. I don't know. I don't even know what the symbols mean. Is that a glow plug symbol or is it good? Okay, it's good. Drove 6 hours for this thing. Called him again and was like, is it good? Does it have any problems? And he was like, no. And then I get there and I drive it, and this thing, like, compared to all my other vehicles, this is the newest, nicest vehicle I've ever owned. It drives like a spaceship. And yeah, so I asked him, are the head gaskets good? Does it have any problems? And he says no. So, yeah, so much for that. That is turning green. Got the service truck sitting behind it, snatch block in the garage, so I can pull this thing in for working on it, because it's winter and I got some of it now and I work inside of the garage. So, yeah, things are going absolutely great. Nothing's covered in dirt at all. The return lines are absolutely not snapped off inside every single injector, and the injector hold down bolts are also not in the slightest snapped off in the block.
Why are you lying to
Yo,
people?
oh, I got excited for a sec. Oh, there's a pen inside there. That's kind of, what's it say? And I didn't even do this, but the glow plugs, they're also broke off inside the head. So, yeah, you can see that right there. You see that? That's a glow plug. Not all of them, but I think 5 of them are snapped off in there. So, yeah. Obviously, I'm not really gonna show any of the wrenching on this because that's boring as fuck.
You don't even need glow plugs.
Alright, so as you can see by the Walmart bags, the heads are off this thing. One head looks a little bit cracked. I'll find out when I drop it off at the machine shop. It might just be a scratch. And this Lego set of a head gasket is definitely showing signs of blownage. Pretty sure it was going through right there. And then right there, it's also a little too shiny, and right there as well. I think these kind of go together like this, and then they're riveted together, and you know, it's an lolbz, so it's perfectly reliable and it doesn't blow head gaskets and it never has any issues, and it's also been fleet maintained by the guy driving it. Before I put the gaskets back in, I thought, well, hello machine shop, can you please take the glow plug out, because I don't want to mess with it. I guess I'm a bitch. And they said, no, we don't mess with those glow plugs. And so I said, good. Go to Harbor Freight, get an easy out, and then, you know, the easy out breaks off in the head, and then you weld a bolt to it, and then the bolt breaks off, and at that point you've welded the easy out onto the broke off glow plug. So take your glow plug removal tools, and then it's okay, heads are back on. Didn't really film any of it because who wants to see that? It's studded, believe it or not. They're not ARP studs because I'm not spending that kind of money, but they're also not the cheapest Chinese studs. They're kind of right in the middle, I think, and I also hope they're torqued down right now. I don't really see a point in going for ARP studs on a lolbz because you know, you can make all kinds of power if you have ARP studs in there, but in reality you can kind of only make 2 more horsepower before your Allison transmission blows up. So those studs are going to do just fine. And I bought a bunch of other stuff too, a bunch of fuel hoses and coolant hoses, because there's all the hoses on this motor. Usually I'm a big fan of don't replace it unless it's broken, but these Duramaxes are so hard to get into. There's so much shit on top of these that I figured I might as well replace a hose now versus down the road when it takes me like 17 hours to change one coolant hose. Yeah, and I bought them from kind of all over the place, mostly Rock Auto if I could. But one of the places, I'm not going to call them out, of course, because I think this is pretty embarrassing, but they sent me this calendar, and the trucks in there, if you call that a truck, I guess, they are just amazing. I mean, I think this one is actually my favorite. Yeah, this is the type of build that I aspire to with. Okay, so since the Duramax community loves nothing more than making hour-long videos about EGR deletes and this, that, blah, 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 I'm gonna do the next best thing and just put it right back on and not worry about it. It's gonna cake up so much that it'll just plug itself off, so that'll be fine. Listen, I'm not really trying to disrespect you guys, but after your main guy, and you know who that is, made a video just acting like the biggest drama in the world happened, acting like he blew a head gasket, which is a big deal on these apparently, as I'm finding out. And then it turned out that all he had was some rust on his wheel well, and I'm not even making this up. There's just no respect left. Like, this shit is a joke. Okay, we're getting to the end of it here. Couple little highlights include me ripping the entirety of the snow plug harness out of it, not realizing that it actually goes to the headlights too, and so pretty sure I don't have any headlights anymore. But I can use that wiring to build a little nest for this TCM or whatever this is, because I don't know where that goes. There's no place for it on the fan shroud. I'm kind of. But see, that nest is just beautiful. It can just sit right there. It's not rubbing on anything. It should stay nice and dry. I think it's happy. Okay, so we got all the schmoo and the oil draining out of it there. I'm just going to try and not forget that there's actually no oil in this thing and the drain plug is out. And in the meantime, while that is draining for like 17 hours because it was 6 degrees yesterday, I'm going to jork it here and prime the system. I don't know if the key needs to be on for this. I'm going to say no, since there's no lift pump that could be in the way here. See, I mean, I've had this thing for like 2 months now, and this definitely feels like proper Duramax stuff. Get harder. Is this not open enough? Okay, there's a lot of air. Okay, crank her, please. Take this trash can of our muffler off, and if you're wondering why the camera angle makes it look like this camera is coming out of my ass, it's because these Chevys are so damn low that like my head with the camera on top of it doesn't fit under this frame. Like, I don't know what's going on. This 3500 is lower than most Ford 1500s. Maybe it's because this frame is absolutely massive. Yeah. I don't know. I've seen videos of Dodges cracking right there. I don't know if a Chevy's gonna crack right there. I don't know if they made this big enough. And it's like 2-piece in some places, I think. Can I like say one sentence without stuttering? I want to start this thing and see what it sounds like while it's still light out. I don't really know how that's going to make it sound better, but I can see the cheats better. And this is kind of a this is kind of a cold start because it's like in the 10s at night, and this thing ran yesterday for like 2 minutes, so yeah, that's kind of underwhelming. Okay, well, that's looking a little better. I really wish there were more wires on this truck. This is not enough for me. I would like more. Add a little more conduit there, a couple more zip ties, and then just press everything together right against the manifold with the inner fender, and then we're good to go. And as far as zip ties goes, it's kind of, I feel like zip ties, Teflon tape, and hammers is one of those things where you just buy 70 packs of them, and then you just go to all of your trucks and you just go like that, and then you always have enough zip ties. Alright, so the coolant system's bled, full of distilled water, which is really good at these temperatures. I'm doing the coolant flush, but it's fine, you know, because on a Duramax it's really easy to drain the coolant system. No, I'm kidding. You have to rip the fender out and do all kinds of shit. But see if it starts. I think it's, I don't know, like in the low 20s. Yeah, these things start like they're warmed up. It's kind of crazy. Actually, I'll add, there's one extra step, because in order to pull this thing out, since the driveway is about 2 inches wide and 2 inches long, I gotta cold start that. And if you think I fixed this thing since the welder installation video, you'd be wrong. This thing has been sitting here in, I think it got down into the minus 5s, minus 10s. Oh, now, how about now? Perfect. So, as you can see, I have actually new batteries, which is just an unheard of luxury. Okay, so this thing, like I said, it's still H-pop still empties the reservoir, so and it's cranking slow. I don't know. Those batteries are pretty good, actually. The other ones would have been already dead. Alright, now I think I can give it some glow plugs, because now there's a chance there's enough oil in there to where it might actually start. Now we crank. Alright, give it another set of glow plugs. Come on, girl. Kinda need you to move. I can let it down with the winch, it'll be fine. Uh-oh. Okay, well, so much for that. Wonderful. I guess instead of moving this thing under its own power, I'm just gonna have to pull it with a winch. So, okay. Oop. Honestly, since this thing doesn't really like moving, I'm just gonna leave these cages in there. And I did a cold start on the Cummins the other day because I needed to move it, and it had two basically bad batteries and started right up. So there you go. Power stroke's just the best. I'm just gonna move it with a winch. All I need to do is.
I got my truck right there with the hood open. Why don't you just put the cables on it?
Well, do you think I saw you? I did not see you.
I heard this piece of shit slow cranking.
Huh?
I heard it slow cranking.
I don't know if it's gonna go, but we can try. Hey, what do we got going on right here? Is that a Dodge trying to start a Ford?
It's not gonna
Because the Ford is a Huey system. Is that what's going on right now? I don't know. I don't really got faith in this thing, but we can crank it a little more dead. So no gear, can't see what's going on outside. As long as I'm not rolling down the hill, I'm fine. It's not even trying to fire in it. Oh, I guess there we go. It's even trying to high idle on its own. That's probably good. And yeah, that's durability. Oh, wipers are not moving. I probably should have cleared this thing up beforehand, because it doesn't have a parking brake, and now I'm kind of stuck in here.
You need flashing lights. Oh, you got posi track now.
See, I can't believe that we're good right now. Okay, so put a Chevy front clip on there because I think it looks better. I've been waiting to paint this thing for about 3 weeks. It's just been below freezing the whole time. And then in the meantime, I did a bunch of other work, and now there's a bunch of grinding stuff on there, so maybe I'll wipe that off. Didn't really film anything with the body or the paint. Well, I'm not gonna, because who cares? If you want to watch paint and body work, you gotta watch someone else.
What is up, guys? Welcome.
Only body work I do probably is when I smash into stuff, and I try to film that. Now though, I got a buyer for the flatbed, because this is getting a completely different bed. Kind of the whole reason I bought this truck is because it's a, I think this is a 161.5 wheelbase or whatever. I hope. I think I'm gonna torch these so that I can bend them out the way, because the buyer doesn't want me to just cut them off, because apparently he doesn't have a welder or whatever. Stupid bitch. So bend those out of the way. U-bolts in the bag shouldn't be a big deal. I'm gonna try and remember to not loosen everything and then have this thing slide off, and well, the Ford would catch it. But yeah, a little bit of wiring. The tank, the gas cap's gotta come down on the other side, and then I hope that's it. This driveway was so nice before I moved here. And the only big question, the thing that's going to be really fun here, is seeing if this crane is going to be able to lift it. I'm not really worried about this crane mount. I think that's pretty stout. I think the outriggers are going to get a little bit bent, because the side over there already bent from me just lifting the welder on there. So a 1,400-pound bed is probably going to bend them a little bit more. And in my defense, my mounts didn't bend. It's these brackets that these trailer legs come with that bent. So accountability and such. And yeah, the torch I've been running this winter, the O-rings are absolutely Like you don't really have an adjustment here anymore. It's just kind of just an on-off switch, and the acetylene is actually even worse. Like this thing. And now, of course, you could put an O-ring kit in it. Probably should put an O-ring in it, but I'm just gonna use the other torch that I have and switch out the tips and hope that these O-rings are still okay. Look at that guy. Where'd you get the truck? What is that in the back?
That's a lot of stuff.
And you know it runs?
He said it did.
Did y'all at least like crank
They
it and
pulled the
stuff?
truck apart to redo it entirely. Like that's why they tore it down all the way just so.
And you spun it over and stuff?
That's good.
Is that a yes?
I'm not worried about that. I bought worse.
Bro,
KDP dump too, 'cause I know they didn't do it.
that's a weird looking pee pump.
That's not a P pump.
That's such a weird looking pee pump. Damn. I'm jealous. I wish that truck had this motor.
I'll give you a blown up one.
Yeah, no thanks.
I told you to do it.
I can do that myself.
You don't have
They already got an EGT, or not EGT. No, actually that is an EGT probe hookup. And got tape over it.
Oh yeah, I guess they do, huh? No, that one's EGTs. That's convenient.
That is also, why did they need that?
Why not? Looks like they have it turned a little bit.
Yeah, I'd say.
You worry too much. It's a 12 valve. You just send it until it doesn't send anymore.
Yeah,
Even
well,
a
you
blown
do
up-
that. You do that all the time, and look, now you're already buying like your
even
third one.
Even a blown up one still runs a lot better.
So there you see, it's already on number 4. So you.
No, this is the third.
This is the third, but technically a rebuilt one. So.
I didn't rebuild it. That was me slapping stuff together and calling it 20.
Damn.
Every one I bought was low miles, but I just abused them.
What do you expect? You're gonna throw after you break that in. After you throw that in and run it for.
No, I'm honestly.
I'm putting the gauges in.
I'm surprised with how like.
I bet money on it. I give it not even 2 weeks. Not even 2 weeks. You're gonna throw that bigger turbo on there, and you're gonna throw the injectors on.
Yeah, but I'll have gauges in there. Well, there she goes. It just fired up and drove the off through the woods on fire. Holy fuck. Yeah, the starter kicked in and it just drove off. Fired up in second gear and drove up the hill across the woods.
Okay, so obviously there's a house right there. So I have power most of the time, but it's way more fun to run your welder generator to power your single grinder. Way more efficient, way louder. Neighbors are loving it. Property values are going up. Everybody's winning. Everybody's winning right now. All right, so the bolts, especially on the other side, were disaster because the diesel tank is right on the other side, so you can't get a wrench on it. But these things bend out of the way perfect. Not even catching the wood on fire, nothing. Pretty stoked on this. Yeah, swinging a hammer with a hand that's still broken. I can definitely. Yeah, this hissing is pretty annoying. I can definitely hear or smell wood burning pretty substantially. But is it burning? I hear fire crackling right now. There you go. Just good to do that on the other side, and then this thing should be ready to lift off. And if you're wondering, I do have 3 ratchet straps holding this thing down, so it's kind of all good. I don't think I'll be able to lift this corner of it. Oh, actually, yeah, the whole, this thing's pretty light actually. If I can just lift a corner like that, I think that crane's gonna do just fine. All right, so this thing is getting picked up today. First, we're gonna end up doing this in the dark. Wearing my good coveralls, so I look presentable in case Johnny Law gets involved. But this thing's basically ready to go. I need to plug the lights back in the back because I unplugged those to have it ready to lift, because we got to drive this thing down the road to do this on level ground. And now I got to start the service truck, which that's going to be great. And at that point, yeah, these two are going to move down the road, and then all the fun with the riggings in the dark is going to start. I'm kind of excited. This is kind of going to be fun. Alright, this guy needs to be out of gear, which is very safe, but that's okay. If those Harbor Freight wheel shocks give out, the Duramax is going to catch it. Be sure I just heard more glow plug stuff. Kind of want to make sure those glow plugs stay off, because I really don't want those glow plugs going when I spray ether into this thing, because it's pretty warm. And it shouldn't be in gear. Yep, that's not in gear. Probably should unhook the glow plug. I probably should unhook the glow plugs, but I'm kind of past the point of really giving a shit. Let's see. Oh. I mean, just look at how fucking awesome that looks. I love this fucking. And okay, so this thing should start no problem. Yep. I don't know. These Duramaxes, the way they start, even in like 0-degree weather, is insane. I'm not very impressed with the motor itself after doing head gaskets on it. Kind of made a mistake buying this thing, but they start good. All right, and I have taillights. And huh? Well, it works. This thing is so slow right now. That's a bad time for this thing to not be working.
Oh, just jiggle something.
No, it's not getting good ground.
So make it ground.
I don't know why this is happening. The winch works. It's weak though. Yeah, this is really weak. Could it be these? What could it be?
Is it hydraulic weak or?
The whole system is weak. I need to remember how I short this thing out to get it to go.
Yeah, he's gonna drag this bitch off your truck.
Well, it's not.
You guys want to just stabilize it on each side? You guys push it and we'll just slide it off the frame rail straight on. I'll winch it up.
I think I just got it.
You think you got it?
I heard a noise. Why is it not? Why is my crane not working, bro?
There he goes.
Yeah, but it's not. It's so mitten. Why the?
Right now.
Yeah, we can figure it out, but like. So this smart fucker over here had the idea of just hitting it with a hammer, and that got it going again. Looks like he got it. I think I rigged this a little.
Just boom out. Is it disconnected? If you boom out,
Yep. Yep, I'm trying.
something's still connected.
Huh?
Did it sound like something's still connected?
Nope. Well, the filler neck's off now.
It sounded like it.
Can I drive this out?
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna floor it.
It'll come forward, yeah.
Yeah, and I'll extend it a little bit so it moves over, okay?
That's fine, yeah.
Just boom it down will do that.
Yeah.
Wrong button. Alright, so I may or may not have snapped the fuel line off. But it seems to be fine because the thing's still running. So, and of course the one plug that I need for this, I only have one left. Alright, so after burning out only about 17 fuses, this thing is, look at these body lines. This thing is now ready to go to North Carolina, which is where I'm picking up the gym pole bed. I got the wood on there. It is pressure treated. It's probably not the right kind, but whatever. Got the wood on there. Got the mud flaps from DOT. The wiring actually works. I had these trailer lights left over. I didn't even have to buy them, and I got turn signals and running lights and reverse lights, and that's pretty much all you need. The transfer pump that's supposed to transfer fuel from the rear tank to the front tank got a little bit when I delicately removed that bed. I don't really know what exactly got fucked in the wiring, but it's not transferring fuel anymore. Oh, I need that and this. But I wired it into the taillights, and so now in theory I should be able to just kind of crawl underneath it when I need it. And just, there you go. And if you look close here, I think you might appreciate that, because I performed surgery on a connector with a hammer. Because of course, I don't know why I'm always out of the male ends and I have all of the female ends, but yeah, it works. I think. I hope. I wanna see. And another thing that was really awesome here. So, when I bought it, of course I didn't check on any of the fluids because I believed the guy that it was fleet maintained. I now know what that means. I didn't know at the time. And I believed the guy, and I was like, oh yeah, all the fluids are good. There's shit on the rear diff cover that said it was serviced last year. Everything else is gonna be mint. Tranny fluid looks mint. And then, 2 days ago, I'm like, oh well, I better check the transfer case before I drive to North Carolina. And I checked the transfer case, and the drain plug, which you can't see from here, it came out looking, it's this right here. It came out looking brand new. Like, not a single drop of transfer case fluid, which is ATF, in this thing for the last 1,000 miles, which is really good. And so I'm like, oh well, I wonder how that leaked out. And I refill it, and it starts running up the side of this thing. And if you look, yeah, that's JB Weld. The pump rubbed right through on this transfer case because that's what they do. Ow. That's what they do. And, well, at least I caught it before this trip. Yeah, I think it's gonna be fine. I'm gonna check the fluid after the trip and see if there's all the metal on there. And if it's all metal, I'm probably gonna replace the whole transfer case. And if not, I'm just gonna put the new cover on it, or put the pump up kit in it, or whatever. But that was a nice surprise. Oh, the pump just stopped. Well, North Carolina ain't too bad. This thing is decent enough shape, I guess. Life roll is a little stuck. At least I can't move that. But getting this thing on there is going to be a bit of a pain because it's got a bunch of brackets that don't line up with my my rails, other stuff that's on my rails. But good enough, I guess. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to tie it 4 ways. Yeah, that's gonna snap. I'm pretty sure you're gonna snap that.
I just think it's too heavy.
Yep. Yo, let's give that one.
Keep going. You're gonna have those pieces over there. They're gonna be.
Yeah, I gotta cut that off, I think. Yeah, that one's gotta get cut. There's one that's gotta get. Yeah.
You're still. I mean, I don't mind. I don't. It's not that I don't want to sell it.
Yeah.
That thing seems like it's putting a lot of pressure on your tires already, man. I mean, I don't care. I mean, I honestly don't care, but it seems like it's a freaking heavy thing.
Yeah.
That's all I needed to know. As long as you're okay, that's okay.
Yeah, but
Okay,
here's
I'm
some.
gonna lift it and you cut all of these things because I will have to move.
I hope so. Alright, everything is kind of hooked up. Should not fly off. Only thing that's missing is a hole for my filler neck. My rear light got fucked, which also turned off my auxiliary pump. So yeah, I'm gonna have to cut an access hatch. Alright, hit the right hole first go, which is something that doesn't always happen, and
there we go. Now I can fill the. Should be ready to go. Well, we're back. Made it back just fine. Even with these lights, that one may or may not work, but it went pretty good. This thing is fast. I guess Duramaxes do have some advantages. Somehow I lost the cameras attached to it, so I got to rig this one up, which will be fine.
Okay, so as it turns out, when I cut this bracket right here, and we let the bed down, it actually put it on the bracket instead of under the bracket, sitting on the wood. So this thing needs to be cut off. So I pushed this wedge in there so it still holds the bed out when I cut this off, so it doesn't just, you know, because pretty sure if you just torch this, it'll just slowly sink down, and then you basically have to turn the whole thing into liquid. I don't have gas for that.
The rest of this should be a lot more relaxed because at least it's not overhead and I see what I'm doing and move. So, yep, this is going to be easier. That's actually not wood that's burning. That's all those pine needles on whatever's left behind the live roll that's burning, which I'm fine with that. That smells kind of nice. Burning mud flap and diesel 911 are smells that are not good. Okay, as cool as those things look as they melt and catch on fire and stuff, I may actually have to reuse those for something. That spud bar at? What the fuck? I think this one kind of self-ejected here. Well, guess I'm not reusing that. That's fine. That's all melted to shit anyway. Oh yeah. So, as it turns out, my plan actually worked. Wow, I can't believe that. And the only thing holding this thing on is now these things right here. Like the actual structure of it is gone. And if you want to make fun of my hammer throw, this hand is still broken. Oh, come on. That didn't make it better. Everything on this thing is just not happy. That's safe. Let's bring the boom down just a little bit. That worked pretty good. It's working better and better. Come on, Crane, you can just rip this off, it's fine. Aha! Well, there you go. So now I could cut some more of this shit off and then slide the back forward and have it, you know, actually sit in the right spot versus way too far back. Live roll will still easily clear the end of the frame, so that's all good. Yeah, this worked out good. So this is all cut out, and I got a chain hooked to the bed right there, and I'm going to attach this binder to the frame in the front to pull this whole thing forward. I mean, it's definitely tight. I'll say that. All right, only do that like 70 more times. Great. I don't know. Is it hung up on anything? Oh yeah, it is hung up right there. Yeah, it's not really going to plan right now. I probably should have unhooked the binder and tried to cut this thing out. What a great idea. Alrighty, so got a couple brackets cut out here that are gonna get welded to this bed and then bolted to the frame. Did some torching here to actually have space for those brackets. And there's 2 bolts in it already through the existing mounts. One is right there, and then one's down there on that side. And so it's gonna get 4 brackets on this side and then 3 brackets on that side. And then I'm thinking about maybe welding something to these and then bolting that through here, so that I can really hit stuff with this. Because if I have something going down here and resting against the frame, whatever I hit is gonna put stress on this, on the bed and on the frame, you know, to the kind of the same extent. And yeah, that's really gonna cause some damage. Alright, we got number 1 all the way in the back. This is number 2. And here's number 3. Well, I just caught my underpants on fire. Got this propped up. I'm not gonna use this though, it's a little too thin. I'm gonna go down 1.3 inches. Come down here, come down in the middle, same thing on the other side. I don't have a way to bend that stuff, and the pipe bender with a mandrel is pretty fucking expensive, so I'm gonna just weld in some elbows and then just plate it up there and there. First thing is gonna be to bend this back out. I don't know what they hit, but they hit it pretty good. Alright, so try to get it better on the second try, and just as bad, but oh well, I don't have any pipe wrap. It's somewhat consistent. Alright, so what I'm doing is I'm using the gap between the live roll and the bed as a straight edge, which is kind of brave considering this came off a Ram 5500. It will be straight enough. And then I'm trying to use these magnets that are useless for holding anything except metal shavings to keep it in place. And then make it straight to the bed and straight to the bottom bar. Tack it on, do the same thing on the other side, and that should kind of keep them in the right orientation. Alright, so I got it kind of set up and clamped up and strapped up and whatever. I'm sure there's legit ways to do this with like pipe jacks and levelers and all kinds of stuff. I don't have that. This is going to be good enough. And I cut this piece right here a little too short because I didn't want to have to cut it off 7 times. And a little too short actually means a lot too short. So I got to fill that gap. shit's not thick enough to just stick a bunch of stick weld in there, and so, well, I'm still gonna stick weld in there. I'm just gonna stick the actual rods in there and then flux core it to make up for it, and it'll be just fine. Alright, that's clearly pretty fun. I'm gonna take this whole thing off, grind it down a little bit and weld it a little better at least, but you know, it follows the bed. It's not super crooked. Clearly this angle isn't right, but it has the same contact along this whole plate, so alright, well, PA being the state that it is, you get rained out every 5 minutes. Trick is basically put your flux core welder just underneath your truck where it's dry, and then just weld it up anyway. I'm using plates from an old fuel tank because that's just, you know, materials are hard to come by. Man, I can't believe how good that overhead runs. Maybe it's because I actually spent more than 2 seconds cleaning it, but that works really well. All right, there it is. I think I got 3 passes per side on the outside, 3 passes on the overhead, and that really should be all I need to keep this thing in here. And it's touching the frame so that when this gets hit, it transfers the load both into the bed and directly into the frame, so it should be pretty stout. Alright, so I thought about this a little bit more and I realized I'm fucking stupid. I put this whole back thing here as far forward as possible, you know, so it can smash into my frame, which is good, but that means if I winch anything up, it's gonna hit this edge and just get stuck. And so I used chunks out of the old rear end, and I am gonna put little deflector plates right there, weld them up along the top edge, and then anything that I winch up, doesn't really matter, you know, at what angle the truck is. It's just gonna, you know, slide and then get on the live roll. Alright, well, I kind of gotta call it at this point, I guess, because it's raining so much that there's just water running down my welding hood, so I can't really see anymore. Alrighty, building taillight bezels, and it just occurred to me that the majority of the rear end of that truck is actually made out of an old diesel tank now. Alrighty, there you go. This is definitely a case where I should have just bought the things, but I kind of want to get this truck on the road this weekend, so I'm just making it myself. Phew! Alright, so this is turning out kind of decent, I'd say. They're recessed, so whenever I winch something up, it's not my taillights, because, you know, I learned my lesson on that, smashing the last taillights that were on this. Alright, building the hitch. Torched everything out last night. In the rain, of course. We got a really old L-beam. Receiver tube's gonna sit in there, get welded all the way around. This is a piece of the old cracked up hitch that's gonna sit right here. This is gonna sit on the back side of that semi-hitch plate that's in there. Get bolted up here. This is gonna get bolted up upwards to the frame. And then we got some gussets for the sides there. Alright, hitch is built, welded up. Time to drill some holes and mount it. And I found something on this beam. It says Jones and Laughlin. If this camera's picking that up, I would be real impressed. Alright, well, she's on there. And working on a hill sucks, man. Your jack wants to fuck all the time, you're drilling, you can't even put your WD-40 down. It's annoying, man. Alright, so I never realized that these mag drills are actually kind of gnarly. Because, of course, you're always going to end up working overhead in the mud. And then you're basically holding up a full-on drill press here. And if you fuck the magnet and the thing is on and you press on it and you didn't attach it all the way, you end up with a running drill press in your lab, which is wonderful. And I would say that proves my point right there. I don't know where it took the hit. Seems okay. I hope this didn't take the hit, because there was a recall on these where they shock you to death just randomly because something on the drill gets hot. But if there's a recall, you'd kind of expect them to fix it after, so it should be fine. Alright, feller neck is on there. Works great, doesn't leak. Got some rubber blocks in between so it doesn't rub itself to shit. Next thing is gonna be airbags. I got these for, well, so far they've been for free. I'm gonna have to pay for them eventually. Probably not too much though. They're pretty old. They came off a Dodge, but not gonna worry about that. I got kind of a problem where if I hit a speed bump just right with one tire, it like almost rips the rear end off the truck because it rubs against the bed. And the way I'm gonna try and fix that, I don't know how I'm gonna mount it yet. I would honestly like to just drill a hole in the frame and stick this through and call it good, but there's no room to get a drill on there, and my torch is out of oxygen still, so I can't just cut that in there. So I may have to try and use these bolts right here somehow, like build a plate for it, bolt it on both sides, and then just not worry about the bottom. Alright, so we got plates built, bolted through the frame on both sides, and then the airbags are bolted to the plates, like so. I don't have anything at the bottom yet. I'll probably just throw some grease under there and call it good. If the airbags are off, I'm going to build little cradles. And the airlines came with these. It's probably just temporary because it's kind of in the way. They are sitting right there for now. They have this valve in the middle that lets you either join them or separate them. I'm gonna join them while I fill them up. I guess the idea is there for off-roading. If you're on a hill, you don't want them together because it'll push you like further out of the horizontal. Obviously not really relevant for this thing. I don't know if this thing will reach. I don't think we'll reach off the cigarette lighter. That's a resounding no. No, it's close. Huh. Honestly, that might just work. Box. Let me see here. So, got that going. It'll go, and it needs to go right there, so yeah, that'll work. Alright. Alright, let's see. Oh, like that. Yeah. I'd almost call that good. Oh yeah, that's like a full fist. Alright, well, yeah. I'll just let that run for a little bit longer, and then I'll test drive it whenever I need to take this thing out the next time, and then I'll see if they blow out or if they don't. Alrighty, airbags are doing great. There's still all kinds of shit to do, like transfer case and tranny oil and this, that, and the other. But I think it's time to do a little bit of winch truck stuff, because I haven't really tested anything on this thing yet. No idea how this is supposed to be hooked up, what's ground, what's power, this, that, and the other. I probably could look that shit up, but I don't really want to. I got random electrical stuff, and a jump pack, and a Leatherman somewhere. And I hope that that's enough to figure out how to get this thing going.
Okay, so there's a random power cable that's directly on the motor. Huh.
If the housing is grounded and I give this power, this is gonna definitely arc out on the bed, so let's just delete that real quick. Let's do that. And okay, nothing. No. Okay. So maybe that was sparking, right? Yep, that is sparking. Okay. So maybe this, even though it's red, maybe this is ground. Maybe this is supposed to be ground, and then this is supposed to be power. I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be power because it's long. This would go to the battery up front. So in theory, this should not spark. Okay, doesn't spark. No sparks. That is so confusing. Unless these two, oh, I'm stunned. So this should spark, right? Because if that's ground and this is ground, this should spark. Okay. All right, there we go. So red is ground, most likely. And we'll hook that up. Of course, the problem here is that this thing is burned all, just ground out to anything it wants, but ignore that for now. Okay, this should not spark. Not sparking. And so now this pin out, I don't think I can hurt anything. I think one is ground, and the other two are the two directions that the winch goes. At least that's what I would like it to be. So this should kind of maybe... Oh, I hear clicking. Okay, that was noise. Okay, it's moving already. So these two connect. Looks like it would pull it, well, depending on how it's spooled on there, which I can't, it's there, so that would, that's great, that would pull it in. That's pulling it in, and uh-oh. Well, that's not good. Something up right now? I don't think we are, but that is not good. That is, that means that this solenoid in there is probably stuck right now. So if I connect these, it goes the other way. Okay. Okay, so that solenoid in there, or the two solenoids that are in there, look at that Tesla, isn't that funny? It might be a little stuck. It might be just a little bit stuck, but... So, I had this thing hooked up and was running it with the Leatherman off these, and it was smoking a little bit, and we definitely found out that it roached this wire and also all the grounds on the truck. They got pretty hot. I hope that these are grounds. They should be grounds. Since they are grounds themselves, it's not that bad. I saw a lot of.
Yeah, they got a little toasty.
Yeah, saw a lot of smoke coming out of there as well. All right, so the insulation on the grounds that got burnt off, I basically replaced with conduit. It wasn't as bad as I thought, because for the most part, I'm just noticing that intake thing is off. For the most part, it was just one small ground that got burned. The bigger grounds were fine, and yeah, whatever was smoking in the middle of the engine, I'm just not. Oh yeah, this is not good. I'm just not gonna worry about this. This needs fixed. I'll do that. And I got the motor off the winch without ripping the winch off, which I'm pretty happy about. So I'm gonna hook some voltage up to it and see what it does. I don't know what's going on there. Can we go higher? What are we reading here? Those are slot machine numbers, basically, is what's going on. I don't really see a difference between anything here. So, the multimeter is about as reliable as just arcing shit out with this. So, what do you got here? Is it going? Yeah, it's going. Okay, so that's going. That's strange. So, which way is that turning? So that's turning that way. So from this direction, that would be clockwise. And that just shorts out, which is really strange. Hold on, and if I go this way, I don't know what is that thing. If I go this way, it goes the same direction. I'm pretty stunned, and I don't really know how electric motors work, so this is going to go the other direction? Yes. That goes the other direction, and that does nothing. So, I don't really know what that means. So this is pretty weird. If I hook this thing up according to the manual, it's fucked. Like, you're supposed to connect these two, and then this thing, which, yeah, it's red and it's ground. And then you spin it, and it draws all of it, like all of it, with no power. Like, look at that. Very bad. But then you hook it up, you know, the way I was just with it last time. I think I hooked these two up. And now it's got so much power that it almost falls off the bench. So, I don't know what the hell's it, but basically I got a choice. Either I try and use this with just these two and rig it up myself and risk burning down the truck again, or I buy a new motor. I don't really know what's going on there. Alright, motor's back in, all the solenoids are bypassed, and all the 3 terminals that I need are hooked directly to power. And clearly, this is not how you're supposed to run a winch. But for what I needed right now, I'd say that's pretty good. Take this bitch off, and yeah, that should not be that stuck, I'm gonna say. I'm pretty sure these brushes should be nice and loose. Alright, pop it back on. Yep, there you go. Alright, moment of truth. I don't know if it works yet. cutting corners clearly works out really well for me, like all the time. All right. Choke is on, gas is off. It'll probably fire right up. Man, I love with oil-filled stuff. You know the thing that has like 22 holes to mount it? It's welded on. I would do the same thing. I am doing the same thing. Alright, I have no idea where I left off filming, building this thing. It's got a welder on it now. Part of the rack is built. I don't know how much of this I showed, but the rear end is kind of done. The winch works, sort of. It blew a brake line, and it turns out they were all rusted out, so I had to replace all those. Had to do some work on the Fords, and right now I'm building I'm gonna build more of the headache rack and winch rack. What the f are you stopping? Is everything just always broken on this? Is it out of fluid? That might be. I don't see how the hydro motor could be out of fluid, but in theory, I could see it. So, does it still go up? It's not out of fluid, it's just a piece of shit. This will work this way. Alright, yep, How do I roughly get those to stay on there? Because magnets ain't gonna do it. Yeah, how about some C-clamps? Alrighty, so that's tacked in. So now I'm gonna measure the distance from this to the bed and then put that up or down, get the same distance, and then weld that in. Probably put a mud flap on top of the welder. I think I still have a mud flap. Yep. It does look kind of straight the way it sits right now, but it's probably still off by like ½ an inch or something. Protect this thing. I love this thing. Love it. And also it has a full tank of gas. But yep, that is the same. All right, tack that on. Don't you dare roll off the bed. This should be fine. This should not catch on fire on me. If that welder catches on fire, that fuel tank is full, because I thought I was gonna have to use it to weld some pipe. And when I say pipe, I don't mean like real shit like oil field pipe. I mean like sealing. But then I ended up using the Shrek nugget. Alright, well, the rack is built. I didn't really film much of it because I don't really care about making videos, if I'm honest. I started this, I want to finish it, but it is what it is. It's time to build something to connect these two poles, and the right way to do that would be to get a 3-inch Schedule 80 and a 3.5-inch Schedule 80, because these are different sizes. Put them over it, weld them together, and then build something in the middle you can hang off of. But pipe like that is really expensive. There's none on Marketplace where I live, so I'm gonna have to put them together here. I got some ideas. Alright, so we got a little bit of scrap metal over here. An old Hoosier pole that I used for about 5 minutes. That's not gonna help. This stuff, I could kind of build something that slides in there, but this is so light that I think this is some really steel. I don't know, this doesn't feel like steel to me. That bumper, first of all, it's just Schedule 40, so I think that's what that is. So that's too thin anyway, and I also kind of want to put that on a truck. I don't know about that one. These, I don't know, I think that's a 2-inch receiver, I think. I'm probably stunned and it's something else, but that barely doesn't fit. These are way too thin. But there's this diesel tank that's actually part of the back of that truck now. But I have, oh, I forgot I had this. That's all twisted. I don't think that's gonna work, but I got these plow mounts, and I think if I take these apart, this channel piece right here is going to slide over the poles, and then I kind of just need to put a 4th wall on it and fit a bunch, but I think that has potential to work. I bet you this thing will come in handy one day. Alright, now this whole thing should come out. Oh, there's a spider in there. Come on, little buddy. No, you gotta get out. You gotta get out. Listen, you're not catching any mosquitoes in there. You have to get out. There. Go somewhere else. This part right here would work. Any more critters? Definitely lots of critters. I got a whole biome over there. I got spiders and little green things, and oh, another spider. Are you alive? Yeah, that one is definitely alive. Is that your house? Well, you are in luck because I don't need this part. And then we got a little lake over here. I don't know if there's any critters in there. Watch like a little snake or something jump out of me, but there's certainly all kind of shit in here. Like we got grinding wheels, and that's a twig, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of 70. Oh, that's a chunk of parking block, and then I know there's 7018 in there because that's where my ends go. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on over here. But I think I might have had an idea. I don't know how well it's gonna work, but basically it's just to save me some time and to save me from buying those $200 pipes. So this pin is gonna get cut out. These are gonna sit like that, obviously closer together. Uh-oh, I am not wearing steel toe boots. That could be bad. So those are gonna get welded along there, a pin is gonna go along here to hang, you know, snatch blocks or whatever you want to call them off of. It's definitely not a snatch block, I know. And then I'll get another reinforcement right here, and I have to kind of cap the opposite sides of it. But I think obviously a lot of this shit's gonna get cut off, but I think that's gonna be really sturdy and it's not gonna require a whole lot of extra parts. Well, you know how these things go. You're like, oh, I don't feel like getting my torch out in the rain, and then you're like, oh, maybe the grinder will cut these if I take the guard off and use a really big cutoff wheel. So that's what's going on right now. That side is cut. Luckily, it just barely fits in there like this. This side is next. The rest of this video is basically going to be in the dark in the rain. That's how it's Pennsylvania. So obviously those little ears there, they're gonna get torched off. Alright, using OEM parts to build this, and by that I mean that came off this bed. I think that was back here somewhere. It still has a backup light. Isn't that nice? Alright, moment of truth. Is this gonna work first go? Yeah, actually, yeah. And it looks, I don't know, pretty straight to me. Have a look here. Yep, I'd say that's about as straight as you can get it with, you know, the naked eye. Basically impossible to tell, and it doesn't really matter because the only thing that matters is how it sits once it's on the poles. Something I'm noticing right now is that there isn't a lot of room for the nuts to go there. That could be a problem. Oh, that drill, that poor thing. Yeah, everything's a little bit bent, but come on. I know you want to. I know you don't want to, but you're gonna have to. Move over. There. We'll see if that works. I'll also see if that still works. I think that's been dropped on its head twice now. So, alright, we got some rigging to do. And as always, I don't have the right shit and couldn't get the right shit. So this is just what I'm going to have to use. First thing is going to be to get the poles up. And then the second thing, which is where this Batlins cable comes in, is going to be the part where, you know, I keep them from slamming down and crushing that forward. Idea here is get one snatch block here, which, yes, you're not supposed to use a snatch block here. You need one of those plain blocks, I guess they call them. Guess who has one? I don't know who has one. None of the hardware stores or hardware stores around here have one. All they got is snatch blocks. And I'm not going to a rigging store and paying like $500 for one, so what I'm thinking is I need to attach these two things, and I think sideways hooking it like that would kind of work, but it wouldn't be a very good time. So I think since this is not going to go around this, if I take these off and flip these around, that might make this work. I don't quite know how this is designed here. Because what I don't like about doing it like this is that if I flip these around, it might pop these these snap rings off under load. I'm gonna have to take a look at that and see if I like how it looks. So this right here is what I'm thinking. I don't know if you're supposed to use a snatch block like this, or if it's gonna want to pop these caps off. All right, I guess I don't really have a choice but to hook this on here all sideways like so, because if I have to use a chain, the bolt that goes through the chain is actually barely rated for the rating of that winch, so it will just have to pull like this, which I guess is a little bit sideways, but it'll be all right most likely. Alrighty, get all the shit out of the way of the cable. And now oh yeah, and I cut this back off and moved it up front because clearly this would have been completely in the way. That was just me being dumb. Alright, that's good enough. And how are you already hooked to something? Alright, we'll just go around the bar. Get around. So, we'll see. It's not ideal. It kind of looks like it should work, but I've had this slip off before when I did it like this. Come on, you know you want to go in there. I feel like that should go in deeper, probably. Maybe. There it goes. So, what's what here? Wrong way. Okay. So, it just tightened the out of it. And now I kind of want to stand over here and see what happens. I hear a lot of creaking. A lot of it. That's still hooked up. This looks what? I think we're already off, actually. Oh yeah. I don't think this geometry is really that good. I think this right here should be higher, but that's the way they built it. And nothing. Okay, so the winch is quit working. I can let it down. And that's it. So, yeah, there's a good bit of tension on this. So, I'm guessing that I want to have to raise that shit right there because the winch doesn't want it. It doesn't want to do it. It'll slam them, but it will not put them up. I don't know. This is a little weird because This whole thing wasn't built by me, this geometry right here. Okay, so clearly that works. I don't know why do I have to put something under that to make it work, because it shouldn't need that. It doesn't look that honestly, but I definitely understand why people that run these things are always sketched out, because this shit is sketchy. I guess just not give a this around there. This is not stuck in there. Alright, so that is gonna, I know now why they cut this. Alright, there's that. This guy, up in here. Yeah, if it's daylight all of a sudden while I'm doing this, you know the camera died. Yep, should go. I don't try to forget. This is. Alright, this is pretty scary. This is gonna be rowdy, as Peg would say. Those are gonna go flying. Ford, you might, like, this might be bad. This might turn into a really, 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 really bad time. Guess I'm gonna find out if my math is right. Oh, this thing is not. Uh-oh. Okay. Well. Because yeah, this is the extra that we gave these poles. And the Ford was actually never in any danger. I was actually never worried. That was just for extra drama. All right, let's. So now, if I let this down, it shouldn't sit at quite such a ridiculous angle. Oh yeah, that angle is way better. Way better. Well, the plan is still the same, which is to get these holes back so I can swap these pins out. And in order to do that, I'm going to do what I did last time, which is hook this to the rack, pull it back, then undo these chains and rehook it so it's further up, and then try and pull it, either by hand or with the winch. And it is actually daylight out for about another hour, so that's nice. All right. And then I'm gonna be the one that has to fold this thing over, which is kind of scary because those are really far over there, and I don't think I can just grab this chain and make that happen. But with how light they are now, I think I'm gonna be able to make this happen. Get that hooked to this, and this should be pretty tight. And now what should happen is I pull this, these are going to fold over, and then that cable should keep them from slamming onto the deck. This is gonna be rowdy when it works, if it works. You watching, everybody? Alright, a little more. And there it goes. This is gonna be rowdy. Maybe. Are things gonna fly? Actually, it doesn't look that bad. Yeah, it'll just like fold over. Please. I don't know. Nothing here is really nothing here is. I mean, it is tight, so it's doing a little bit, but nothing here is really working the way that I plan it to. But they are down. Wow. I cannot believe that. That just came out. You can see how bent these got. I wonder what happened to them. I'm guessing someone dropped the poles out the back the way I did. Wow, I cannot believe that that just slid out. Am I gonna get lucky twice? Yeah, holy smokes. Let's grab these $19 bolts. And that is 19 a piece. Just wonderful. And hope that they go through there. I did measure this. It did look like it was 1 inch. I don't know why these look so much thicker. Oh yeah, holy smokes. I can't believe it. Alright, that should definitely hold it for one test pull at least. At some point I should probably also kind of clear up this mess that's going on the bed of this, but that's some at some point shit is what that is. Alright, now, if I want to hook these back up, basically want to do the same shit. Get this one here. Make sure there's nothing on this thing. I'm going to leave it hooked up the way that it was, because I know that way it's not going to smash my Ford. This old boy over here. Oh yeah, they move so much nicer now. I can just do this. Last time I was doing this, they were binding up and shit. Okay, well it lifts it now. Ooh, this is sizzling. And then it doesn't want to anymore. To be fair, this is a little low on juice, and I'm guessing that is part of the problem here. And yeah, the temptation is definitely real to just fire up that welder, set it to 12 volts, and then run it with these welding leads. I kind of don't want a welder. I don't think it would. If I do go to wire, and I go to wire low, now, are we seeing voltage? Alright, now we're seeing 14.15 volts, which is kind of the same. What if I actually idle it? 25 volts? Yeah, those brakes work really good. Thanks, Diamond Reels. Is this? And don't tell me I don't know how to adjust them, because it's just a bolt and a counter nut. Those things are kind of garbage. Alright, I don't know what's gonna happen here. All I know is it's really wet, and I'm fucking a bunch of electrical stuff. And yeah, it's fine. I can get shocked and shit, and it's not that big of a deal. And 20 volt DC honestly actually does nothing, so I probably don't need this shit. But anyway, jump starting a shitty winch because my booster pack is out with a welder. If this fries my welder, I'm gonna be seriously pissed off. Like, it doesn't do anything. It didn't even try to move. What about the other way? Okay. So, a welder will run the winch. Will it lift it? Yeah, baby. Yeah. All right, Bobcat. Yeah. And now I guess do the. Now it doesn't want to. I don't think I can throw those over by hand. This winch needs a lot of juice. Uh-oh. So it is gonna go. I'm a little bit scared, I'm not gonna lie. And here she goes. Alright, so that did work. I like that. Yeah. So, see, you don't even need booster packs. Actually, from what I know, you do not want to jumpstart a truck with a Bobcat because they have alternators and shit and they might welder. But it will run a winch, and that means that this thing will run a winch too, so technically I don't even have to worry about that boost. How badly is this gonna blink? And, is it gonna slam? Wow. Okay, it's not even gonna slam. That's pretty cool. Very gently here. I'm kidding, I'm not going gently. Actually, I am somehow. Why is it not down? I'm guessing it's wedged right there. I'm guessing that this thing also is kind of to blame for that. That's going to be another thing that I'm going to have to probably f some more because this is not an ideal setup. Deck's cleaned up a little bit, and this is the plan here. Basically what this is supposed to do is as I pull, basically it's going to be pulling from behind this or from on top of this, I'm not entirely sure yet. It's going to keep this whole thing from kind of just pivoting around this this rack. Usually you'd probably want to cut this out with a torch, but I am low on the oxygen. Alright, that should do. Yeah, that'll weld alright. And now, basically, probably get this pull out of the way and move this all the way down, and then hope that the deck is at the same level here that it is there. Cut this off sideways, and then do that one more time for the other pipe. Alright, let's see how it fits. Yeah, that's alright. I would have liked it a little bit, just a little bit more angled back. And clearly there's some really shitty gaps going on there. But that'll be alright. little scary standing over here, because if these come back down when I lean on this, it would probably kill me. Not gonna happen though. So the two cross brace things are welded in. Chains are now hooked to the top of the rack to make this angle better. I think this should hold at full capacity. We might find out. And I built this thing right here, which is basically just to hold the connector on top there. So when I stow the poles, I can just kind of push it over this and then bolt it down. And then it's not such a disaster to put these poles up. The way these are looking right now, I think we're kind of good on the angle right now. It's maybe a little bit steep. Like, you got to keep in mind this is kind of angled down in the driveway, but I think it should be pretty capable of lifting some stuff right now. I think maybe this one I should move up. Yeah, I'm gonna move this one up. Just one link. And the last thing to do is to do a test lift. I don't really have anything heavy. I'm not lifting the Vantage because that's in the garage and it's bolted to a truck bed now, and also I don't want to smash the Vantage. That thing cost me more than that truck. So speaking of that truck, what do you think, Ford? Do you want to get lifted? Alright, and maybe someone can enlighten me on what they think of this design right here. I did look up the shear strength of a 7/16 bolt, and it's, I think, around 9,500 pounds at the threads. And since I got two of them, I think these should be strong enough to hold those poles down. I'm only hanging, I don't know, I guess the maximum that winch is rated for is like 9,500. I don't know exactly with the angles and stuff what that means on the chains. I might not have thought this through all the way. I just realized that. Definitely didn't. Can I maybe pull this back with the chain a little bit? All right, yep. And then just, yeah, see, that's holding no problem. There's a chance that I'm gonna have to do some more adjustments when I actually run the thing and when there's some weight on it. If it looks like it's completely weird and sideways, I'll do that, but right now this is good enough. This right here is my daily driver. I love this thing, kind of. I mean, it's a TTB in the front, but it's been so reliable. I think I've put, it'll go. I think I've put 25,000 miles on this thing, and the only thing that ever broke was a vacuum pump. Yeah, it's been flawless. This has restored my trust in power strokes. I hope the neighbors aren't watching. Alright, so what are we looking at here? I don't really know. I don't run these things, but it looks like it has a chance. This just has good idea written all over it. Alright, let this dangle. Alright, I would say I'm not even in the road technically. So if I pull this straight down, I'd say we are where we need to be. I'm guessing this trailer hitch is completely fine. If I can get the hook in there, which I can't, so maybe I can wrap this around. Or hammer. All right, there. Yeah, I'm sure that's exactly the right way to hook this and winch this and stuff, but And this fucking camera better not shut off while I do this shit. And let's just kind of see, I guess. Okay. How are the poles looking? Not good. The poles are not looking good. That pole on the other side is way too far over. So I should rehook that. And obviously, let's be real, usually I wouldn't give the sweet, like not, but the whole point of this is also kind of to adjust my poles and make them straight. And actually, I forgot that the truck is kind of at an angle. It's not as bad as it looked. But I think one or two links on the chain will straighten that right out. Alrighty, got those moved. This time I actually marked the links, believe it or not. And let's see how they sit now. It'd probably better to test this when, you know, you're on a flat surface and shit, but yeah, that looks pretty level to me. That's all, that's fine. Alright, let's see if it lifts it. I better not get hit in the face with a fucking cable right now. I'd be pretty mad. Winch is not loving it. I hear a lot of creaking. And winch gave up. Huh. Now I know that this could severely fry that winch motor, but we're just doing one pull, okay? I just want to see the truck off the ground. That's it. Almost all the gas. That'll probably be enough to bridge the gap, and I'm gonna say that, yeah, if I take, well, I think everything is gonna come with it. I love anything that's chords and stuff, because it's always very spiritual, very connected to itself and the universe and everything around it. So I love doing this. Alright. I had those not entangled in the truck, and then you leave them in the truck for 2 minutes. I swear to God, they completely entangled themselves. It's definitely not my fault. Oh yeah. Alright, and the reel is probably gonna... Alright, let's see here. So we can let it down. Okay, can we put it up? No. It just lugs the welder down and doesn't do anything. Well, that's worse than this. So I guess I'm gonna turn the voltage up a little bit. Water plus, low. Nothing. You can let it down. Oh. I'm also shorting out the bed. Oops. This is a big ground cable, huh? How is that possible? I guess the thing is grounded to the bed. Okay. We'll get you out the way. There, don't touch anything. Yeah, that gives her. And that's the limit. I hear a lot more cable noises, but I don't see anything going up. Come on. I can turn up the voltage more. I don't think it's gonna love it. We'll just try it with more speed. Nothing. Aw. Is it? The truck ain't even that heavy. The truck's barely at capacity of the winch. Something is gonna give here. Man, I hope I don't welder doing this. That would be a bad day. How about now? This is like 22 volts now. Nothing. It is very fast. Ah, yeah. There we go. It just needed a little bit of momentum. Perfect. See, nothing's snapping, nothing's all bent to shit. I didn't get hit in the face with the steel cable. The truck is not in the road even. Yeah, all right. I'm gonna just call it right there.